On this Explore Everyday adventure, we are going back to June of last summer and we are going firefly chasing. It's the very end of February right now, so we are a few months away from fireflies, but before you know it, this field behind me will be filled with fireflies on those warm summer nights, and this is one of the spots where I captured fireflies with my camera. One of my favorite things to do in summer. It's very much like astrophotography or even storm chasing with lightning, trying to get those little bugs to line up how you want them. So join along, come with me on 3 nights out under the dark skies with fireflies. The first night is with my daughters and 2 more nights right here at this very park. Let's jump into the adventure. In Minnesota, the transition from spring to summer is never a straight line. You'll have hot, humid, sunny days in May and cool, almost cold, cloudy days in June. But eventually, without even realizing it, the days and nights are more warm than cool. The days are long and the evenings come late. And then one day you see it while walking the dog at sunset. Off in the tall grass is a flash of green light. You make a double take and stare at the spot, waiting, and there it is again. You were right. The fireflies are back and summer is officially upon us. The very next night, I rounded up my girls and we headed out to our local walking trails where I had seen the first fireflies of the season just the night before. It would be their first firefly mission and a great way to spend an evening outside. I grabbed my camera and out the door we went.
Welcome to another
Explore Everyday video. It's the middle of June and it can only mean one thing. It is firefly season. I'm out with
Haley,
and
Emma.
This is their first time out looking for fireflies. I was walking Luna last night. This is the trail right by our house, and the scene behind me was lit up with fireflies. So this is the first outing of the year. So about 9:45 was the key time, so we're about 20 minutes from then. Long days here in the middle of June. We got some nice birches. We're going to be the focus of our picture tonight. First time out. This is the beginning of the firefly season and my series for 2025. Stick around and let's see some fireflies. Here's the first shot that I have framed up of the year. I've got my birches. I got a set of 4 birches out here. I've got my 28-75 Tamron lens on, and I'm probably about halfway out, so probably shooting around 40. And I'm gonna do a series of long exposures to get those those fireflies trails. So I'm gonna shoot probably a series of 10, and then I will blend those together in Photoshop, much like doing a star trails, and that will really make a full frame of those fireflies. So we're getting dark enough, so I'm gonna try to start shooting. There's a lot of them out here. It looks great. So take my first couple test shots here and see how they turn out.
In person, it looks like a scene out of a fairy tale, but I struggle to capture images with the dark backdrop of the forest. For the photo editing, I have to keep the background dark to help highlight the fireflies. This makes the image very heavy. If I bring up the exposure, the fireflies get lost. As you'll see in the next segment of the video, I much prefer to shoot fireflies in open prairie where you can capture the night sky along with the fireflies. Welcome to night 2 of firefly season. We are a couple days past our summer solstice. Days are already getting shorter. But the mosquitoes don't care. They're already out and attacking, so I gotta go with long sleeves here.
Little spray for the ticks. So I am at one of the parks. If you watch some other videos, you may start recognizing a few things. In full disclosure, this is where I shot one of my last winter star trails. So I'm actually gonna go up to that spot, and it has some good lookouts over some grassy areas, and see if we start seeing any flashes. There's a lot of grass behind me here. Don't see anything yet, so we're a little early, but let's take a walk up to the pavilion and the tree and just get a lay of the land, and then we're just gonna kind of float around a little bit and see if we can find some more fireflies here in June. So tonight's scene is a little different than last time I was here, which was really in the middle of March after we just got 11 inches of really wet, heavy snow. Super hard to walk in, but it was somewhat warm. I was out shooting Star Trails of Orion. I got the big circle with the North Star up over the side here. But tonight we are out hunting for fireflies. I thought it'd become fun to come back to this spot tonight. I've not looked for fireflies here before. And in all honesty, I have not been out into any of my nature parks probably since March. My world gets really small kind of in that April, May, June time frame, just because there are so many ticks that I don't want Luna running through the grasses and whatnot, bringing them into the house. My youngest has already had the red bullseye a couple of years ago, so trying to minimize tick exposure in our house. So on-leash walks in the neighborhood, so my world gets really small. So it's nice to be back out in the nature park here tonight. Let's see if we can find some fireflies. There's definitely mosquitoes out here. I'm probably not going to stay in this area because it's pretty mowed and open here, but just off to the side there's a nice little valley, a dip off into the sunset color, so I'm hoping that kind of fills up with some fireflies. But I have 3 or 4 other spots that are easily walkable too, and I may have to walk back past the truck and put some bug spray on my head because these mosquitoes are absolutely atrocious right now. Let's see if the battle is worth it and find some fireflies. All right, I am going to the truck right now. I've not seen mosquitoes this bad in a long time. It is maybe not sustainable to be out here if they don't go away as we get more into darkness. But kind of a funny story, and I couldn't even stay up there. In kind of just the still video I just shot trying to capture some fireflies, I saw some movement. There was a deer walking right at me from about 30 yards away, but I couldn't even go to the camera to get it because the mosquitoes were so bad, and I think a lot were actually landing or flying in front of the lens, so I think you saw them. But oh my gosh, there's lots of fireflies, but for every firefly there's about 1,000 mosquitoes, and we'll see if this is sustainable tonight. But I'm going for the bug spray. Well, I guess I'm showering tonight. All right, I got my first shot dialed up here, so I'm shooting with my Sony A7IV. And I have my Tamron 17 to 28 millimeter on, and I have it zoomed into 28 millimeters right now. So there's a lot of fireflies out over the field here, and I'm playing around with different exposures. So now, right now, I'm shooting at like about f5.6, 8 seconds, between 6 and 8 seconds at ISO 800. Now, the one thing I've learned here in my second season of firefly shooting is, even after I was out the other night, it's one thing to see the fireflies, obviously if they have some kind of composition, but my personal preference, what I've learned, is having the sky in the shot is more important to me than maybe having a woodland behind it, because that just gets really dark. And the sky helps lighten up the image, and you can see those fireflies in the dark grasses, but then the sky adds that other dimension to the shot. Whereas where I was out the other night, shooting up against some birches and some heavy woods behind it, it's just a very heavy, dark image. And I think I probably would have showed these in the video, and maybe you saw what I meant there. I'll put one up here again. But it's just a very dark, heavy image. So the sky helps brighten up the image. Obviously, shooting the Milky Way or the Northern Lights would be preferable, but that's not in the cards tonight. I was gonna head out for the Milky Way. It's still kind of cloudy off to the southeast, so probably not gonna work out tonight, but maybe, we'll see. But I'm gonna keep playing around here. I'm gonna get a couple shots done. Lots of fireflies, not too close to me though. I don't know if the bug spray bothers them. Obviously I have a light on, I'm gonna turn that off. But that's where we're at. Got my first kind of area framed up here, play around with my exposure times, and I'll share all that image detail like I always do with my final images that I put up, so you can kind of see how I shot that. But that's where we're at. Let's get a couple shots in the bag, and again, I'm gonna shoot probably anywhere from 4 to 8 stationary shots on a tripod, and then I will blend those in the lighten mode in Photoshop, and that will fill up the image with all the fireflies that were in however many shots I stack there, whether it's 4, 6, 8, whatever it might be, which just makes it a little fuller image. So that's the plan. Let's shoot some fireflies. There were so many fireflies that first night in the park, I had to go back the next night and check out a few areas that I normally only see during the day. I'm always amazed how long exposures with the camera can bring life to the night in ways that we can't see with our own eyes. right, it's about 10:40 right now. I'm probably gonna wrap up here pretty soon. I've taken a few different compositions. I have noticed, I've kind of compared shooting fireflies, lightning bugs to astrophotography, kind of how you process the images, how you try to accentuate the fireflies, which kind of are like stars, right? The other thing I noticed tonight as I was setting up very specific compositions, this is a lot like shooting lightning. Shooting lightning bugs is a lot like shooting lightning. And what do I mean by that? I was shooting by the pavilion earlier, and you just need one firefly to light up and go through your 10-second exposure in the right spot. And you'll see them off to the right, you'll see them off to the left, you'll see them in the background. It just takes that one to complete an image, to complete a composition. I was trying to shoot the tree that I had the star trails over earlier back in March. Same thing, there were fireflies off in the distance all around, but I just needed that one to fly right in front of the tree. And you get that a lot when you're trying to shoot lightning at night. You can have your barn or your bridge or your tree or whatever your composition is, and you're just waiting for that one bolt to land perfectly in your frame, to fill up open space, to accentuate whatever you're trying to put in the frame with that lightning. So very similar, trying to get the lightning bugs to go in the right spot, which it's nature, you can't do. Just like lightning, you can be set up, you can have all lightning in the world, but you need that one bolt to go exactly where you're aiming your camera and how you want that composition set up. So kind of a fun comparison.